We're gonna do a song that you never heard before. The volume.
Here they come and get wicked. Here we go again.
Ace Kennedy, my brother from another mother. What up,
What's
though?
up, man? What up, man? What you doing?
Oh man, listen, bro. I done made today. So I made a homemade. Uh, I made a homemade hamburger helper, bro.
Yeah,
That if we didn't do the pod right after I ate, I would have went straight to sleep though. Straight
what's
chilling though, bro. Would have put the boy to sleep though, man. Smacking. Probably one of the best things I think I've ever made, bro.
that's what's up, bro.
Yeah. What's up with you though, man?
Man, I was actually in the lab working on a new track, bro. I've been listening to that new Chloe album, bro. Been inspiring, bro. It's fire. And here's the crazy part. I will be honest. I probably wouldn't have listened to it. I was at the gym, and so my thing is when I go to the gym, I first start out on the treadmill, and I watch Game of Thrones. Well, I done finished all 8 seasons of Game of Thrones, so I was just like, well, all right, I don't feel like watching nothing. I don't feel like starting nothing. Let me just, and I saw the Chloe album, so I put it on. Well, it was jamming, bro. Straight
Yeah.
jam. Yeah. I ain't finished it, but I'm going to the gym tonight, so I'm gonna be back on it. Yeah.
Yeah, well, listen, that's funny you say that. Let's get the music going because I want to ask you something since we're talking about music, bro.
All right, let's get it.
All right.
It doesn't matter what your name is.
Slash Brothers Podcast, the greatest podcast of all time. The Slash Brothers Podcast, the greatest podcast.
If you
of all time.
smell what the rock. It doesn't matter what your name is.
Slash Brothers Podcast, the greatest podcast of all time. The greatest podcast of all time.
Listen, if you haven't already, be sure to like and subscribe to the Slash Brothers YouTube and Facebook pages. We are live on both platforms at the same time. You click on the notification, you click on the bell, you get the heads up whenever your boys is doing their thing. Ace Kennedy. So here's what's funny. I think it's funny how you kind of made it like you stumbled on the Chloe Bailey, right?
Yeah.
Because I, oddly enough, stumbled on Vultures too,
Mm-hmm.
right? So I'm listening to the whole thing. I'm on my way to a game, right? Back running back another city league, right? So I'm listening to it on the way, and I'm thinking like, wow. It's Kanye
Yeah.
and Ty Dolla $ign, which,
Right.
by the way, I never even listened to Vultures 1, right? So I didn't even know 2 was even coming. I knew that it dropped, but I was like, oh, I got some time though, right? And I got a few things that I think about it, but I wanted to present it to you in this way. Okay, so you and I, we always talk about. First off, what up, Renata? It's been a while, love. I hope everything is good with you, by the way.
I'm gonna actually run into Renata tonight, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, listen. I think that this is the thing that I was curious. Sonically, right?
Mm-hmm.
It does sound like the newer Kanye West sounds, right? And when I say newer, it's weird because it has like the very synthy kind of feel, almost like a Travis Scott kind of album,
Mm-hmm.
but it also throws into some of that classic Kanye West sampling as well. But I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. I actually enjoyed the album. And listen, I haven't listened to a whole Kanye album all the way through of any kind since the first gospel album that he put out,
Right.
right? And here's what's funny. Because that was the last whole Ye album that I've listened to all the way. Like I didn't listen to did I listen to Donda? I may have listened to Donda. Like I may have listened to Donda, but either who, I think that the thing that was interesting to me about it is that I was thinking, like, God, the last impression that I had on Kanye was from the gospel joints. And I thought that that meant that he was going to go and just go straight gospel. And of course, this one is everything but that. But sonically, though, right, because it has Ty Dolla Sign on there, there is a good bit of singing on it. But it's singing, but it doesn't sound like R&B. It's weird because for as much singing that's on this album, it does not sound like an R&B album to me. There's
Right.
elements of R&B in it, but it just seems like rap with some harmony in it that isn't necessarily R&B harmony though, bro. But I thought it sounds pretty dope.
Well,
Pretty
know
dope.
what's crazy is I just now realizing that I'm a fan of Ty Dolla Sign. Now, when I say that, have not listened to a single Ty Dolla Sign album, couldn't tell you a Ty Dolla Sign record, nothing like that. It's just that every time I hear him featured on somebody's stuff, I'm like, yo, I like this dude. And so, no Diddy. And my thing is that uh I I like him as a feature on other people's albums. And so yeah, the Chloe Bailey is where I heard him at recently, which again, you said you listened to the Vultures too, so now I'm gonna have to check it out. But yeah.
He's also on he's also on the Mustard. This is another where you would say when I do hear him, I typically like what I hear from him
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
he's on the Mustard and it sounds dope. He's on the last Blast album, and the song that I see here with him on is dope. Um,
Yeah, I just recently watched him on somebody's tiny desk. And I'm just like, yeah, bro. I'm gonna have to just like I'm gonna make it a point this week to listen to a Ty Dolla Sign project, or at least listen to some
let me
songs.
let me tell you this. What I hope is that Ty Dolla isn't like like some people like everybody loved Nate Dogg on the hooks, but
Hmm.
most people didn't listen to the whole Nate Dogg album, right? And I like the whole Nate Dogg album, but it's like, can you really listen to that person in the bag for a whole entire album? And I'll tell you this. I think I listened to the very first Ty Dolla, the one that he had got two of my girls in the club with me, and I know they know about each other. I think these chicks gonna set me up, but maybe I'll you know what I'm talking about?
No idea.
It's a very oh my god, it's the very first time. I did listen to that whole album, and it was funny because it gave me it gave me the Nate Dogg feel from the
Hmm.
fact that he sounds like it would be great on hooks, right? And I like that song. And he had like this first album had a song that I thought was real cool, just like the Nate Dogg's first album. But I was just also wondering though the staying power of it. And I'll tell you this though, what I like about Vultures is that it's not entirely him. And so
Hmm.
because of that, you get just the right amount of him though, bro, to where it rides, so bro. And he's on every song, and it's dope.
Well,
This is where I wanted to go with you on this though.
okay.
Ty Dolla Sign aside, I'm gonna tell you this, bro. I think after listening to this, I know that Kanye doesn't write all his raps,
Right.
right? So let's just say, let's go ahead and put that on out there. He doesn't write all his raps. But I think, bro, that Kanye West, after listening to this, has had the best evolution of hip hop of all time. Where I say that to say this, when I say the evolution, I think that Kanye West, usually, you think when you get to be an older, more seasoned artist, you get to a point where you're no longer the hottest, but you could still be relevant. Everybody know you make good albums, good music. So when you do come out, that's it. But I think that the part that I think that's interesting about Kanye is I think that Kanye seems to be challenging not the Drake being the anomaly, right? Because Drake has had one of the best runs of being hot ever. But I'm almost thinking that Kanye might be there two or three, depending on where you put Wayne, right? In terms of people who've been around for a while. Because when I listen to it, and you think about how much his sound has evolved from college dropout, right? Late registration and twisted dark fantasy to now this. And you think, well, he's not only being relevant, he's still in contention of being hot. Like that's hard to maintain for an artist who I consider to be from our generation to still not just be dropping quality music, but to be dropping music that I think is still groundbreaking, like that's trend setting, right? And
Mhm.
I don't know that there's very many artists who've done that though, bro.
Yeah, because I mean, even when you listen to the Eminem album, it's classic Eminem album. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like intentionally classic Eminem. Uh, but I was when you said of all time is where you scared me because I'm thinking like, no, I think Drake is the one of all time. Now, I will
See,
say though, Kendrick's evolution has been pretty because what the reason why I say that, right, is some of Kendrick's albums haven't been for everybody, and I think more and more his music is starting to change to become for everybody.
I like that assessment of him. And here's the thing about it. I'm maybe a little, maybe I look at Kendrick a little different because Kendrick came after Drake. So
Mhm.
I think that he isn't. To me, it's like that Drake, Kendrick, Cole, and Big Sean class of people. Big Crit also is somebody who I would put in there. And I listen. I'm a Kendrick fan to the point where I think all of Kendrick albums are classics, right?
I know you
But I
do.
look at Drake. Yeah, yeah. I look at Drake still a little different because Drake had been around for some years before Kendrick. So Drake is like that tweener. He's like right at the edge of our generation, but then he's still within this whole, he's encompassing this new one as well, where he's trend setting on that. So I do agree with you, but what I'm saying though, right, is that so you got to think Kanye West was relevant to being the creator, one of the main creators behind the Blueprint, which
Mhm,
came out in 2001.
mhm.
And then fast forward, he's coming out in 2024, right, with an album that sonically sounds like today. Like it doesn't sound like, a lot of times, man, you hear like a lot of older artists, though, man, and they sound dated very easily. I think that what Kanye is doing is the sound of vultures, bro. It's something that I don't necessarily know. And then I didn't hear Vultures one, but when I heard Vultures two, maybe I've been hiding under a rock in my own creative spot, but I don't know that I've heard another album that sonically sounds like Kanye, with maybe the exception of Travis Scott. But I mean, the production and the song structure and the arrangements alone, it's very unique, but not unique in the sense of, oh, I'm about to tap back into this old bag. It's no, these are all like it's refreshingly different from the classic Kanye albums that everybody was like, oh, I missed the old Kanye. Like, yeah, this ain't that, but this is something that's refreshingly new though, bro. So it's crazy though.
And you had a lot within there. For one, Chris, Drake definitely has the staying power. You can just see how long the longevity that he's had and charting at that, like to a high degree. So absolutely, Drake does.
Yeah.
I think Kendrick is just now really starting, if you be honest, because like I said, listen what I'm saying. I'm saying for the masses of people, right? He hasn't had a song this globally recognized. So I think he has now the opportunity to capitalize on that, and more people will want to go back and listen to his older stuff because yes, we know who Kendrick is, but I'm saying based upon this new found song, it's gonna gain him a lot more fans than even him battling Drake is gonna give him more fans. But one of the things you did say before, because I know you're thinking about that, bro, I think I have another apology. I apologize to the boy Chris Breezy. I apologize to the boy Neo. I think I'm gonna have to apologize to the boy Big Sean. I think I'm gonna start being a fan of Big Sean, bro. I think I'm there.
Listen, okay, okay. Let me. This is a good parallel because it's funny you are mentioning Big Sean because here's my issue. Not that I have an issue, really, right? I think that for starters, I understand what you're saying about Kendrick. If you weren't that kind of Kendrick fan, I think that there's a difference, though, right? I think that the way I look at Kendrick is like this, at least from my perspective, right? I looked at Kendrick the way that I look at Jay Z, right? I think that Jay Z will have records that are club records that might not be like Juvenile, back that ass up, kind of a club record, right? He might have his own. So I understand that They Not Like Us is that universal one. I just think that when I listen to Damn, Be Humble, you know what I'm saying? Those are some of them ones to me that I put up there. Now, if we were talking about, let's say we always talk about doing a Drake a verses. I think personally that Drake still has this so much of a catalog to choose from. But as a Kendrick fan, I think that Kendrick got some of them things that might, and I think that the club is where I think is missing. But
Right.
here's what I think is interesting. You brought up Big Sean,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. I always thought Big Sean was so overrated. And listen, I
Said
understand,
overrated.
very overrated, very overrated. And listen, heard why you say you want to apologize to him, right? But I've only heard maybe one time where I personally heard Big Sean, and I said, "Damn, that boy snapped. Let me run that back." And the one time was his feature on the Eminem, the new Eminem.
Yeah.
But
So
other than that,
did you watch his Tiny Desk?
I didn't watch his time because I'm not like the Big Sean guy.
Me, that's what I'm saying. I'm not necessarily either. Wouldn't have given them time of day. If you go back and watch some of the old Slash Brothers episodes, you'll see me dogging him out. Almost kind of not dogging him out, but just saying he wasn't for me, right?
I I would probably be one that was. If you say I'm dogging him out, I'm consistently probably dogging him out.
Right. But what I'm saying is listening to his Tiny Desk reminded me of the stuff that I did like about Big Sean and why I think that I had to reevaluate. Like I said, even Neo's Tiny Desk did the same thing, where it was like, okay, I think I'm actually a fan of Neo because of his Neo's last project. I loved it. You know, it came out,
Same.
and so then even the new single, I love it. I don't love the mix on it because I actually like him singing it on Tiny Desk even better than the album version. But I'm just saying, I think that Big Sean though is another person. After I watched his interview with Charlemagne the God, and I understand him a little bit better. Like I see his thought process about stuff, and I just respect him as an artist now. Whether he may not have some of my favorite songs, I still think he is very talented. Like I didn't really give him the respect as far as of the lyricist that he is.
See, this is my thing. This is the problem and this isn't a problem. Maybe I'm not gonna say this isn't a problem that he started, but he also perpetuated this. What I've always had a problem with was the notion that he was, because he came out around the same time as these guys, that he was that they were peers. So by that, I'm saying that there was this assumption that before it was even Cole, that the big three was Big Sean, Drake, and Kendrick. And when I listened to him, I never held him in that regard. And maybe that's where, if he would have never came out and was ever compared to musically with Kendrick, maybe I would like him. But my problem that I've always had with Big Sean is that every time that I haven't listened to I listened to the one album that he did that was the I forgot what was the name of it. It was one of those Detroit based albums. I forgot what it was. But I listened to his and he did when I hear him, bro, I think that anytime he's either featured on a song with other rappers,
Mhm.
I think that he gets killed on his own song. So now he does have a song. He has a verse on Queen Naya's album on a song, and it samples Jay-Z's song "Cry." And I think his verse, it's probably the best verses I've heard from him because it seems like it's a very vulnerable verse. It's wordy, it's witty, it's metaphorical, it got bars, right? And I like it as an R&B feature. And here's the thing that's funny. I think that I would like him doing more songs featured on female songs or just regular R&B. But I think that the part that I can't dismiss the fact that when I heard him on the song with Nicki Minaj, and he's getting smashed on that. When I heard him on on Mercy with all of the good music boys, and I'm hearing him not have the best verse on that. I can't dismiss the fact that I heard him on Control and he gets smashed on that. That the Control wasn't the thing. To me, the Mercy was the one that I thought was the worst smash of all of them. So it's like, yeah, just I think that it's just I thought that to me Big Sean was thrusted into this category of MCs that maybe he didn't necessarily do, but it was the Kanye cosign. And so I think that the expectation was that he would be an equal to Kendrick and an equal to Drake. And I never heard it. I never got those kind of vibes. I never got those kind of raps from him that made me think that anyway, though, man.
I mean, I can see that, but I also don't necessarily have anything wrong with him thinking that he's in that category.
He should. But listen, I'm gonna
Good,
keep it a stack.
absolutely.
I'm gonna keep it a stack. I don't listen to Big Sean. This is just me personally, and I don't want to seem like I'm a hater, but if I am, I get it. Not like James Harden kind of hate. I don't listen to him, and I'm not any. I'm more wild by Rocky the Real. Shout out to Rocky the Real. That's my brother. I'm more impressed. So I don't know, man. Like, but I do like the album that he had with Janae Aiko because I
Yeah,
like him doing the R&B rap. So, bro.
yeah. He talked about her a lot too in the interview, so that was pretty dope. But yo,
Yeah. Now,
let's
listen.
go ahead.
Well, let me ask you this. So you talked about the Eminem.
Mhm.
And listen, shout out to since I know that the boy, since the bad guy's on, the Cockaroo is watching. Listen, shout out to Diesel Greasel from back in the Cape because he has to be by far the biggest Eminem fan I've ever seen. And he is one of the few people that will proudly say that Eminem is the best rapper of all time, the greatest rapper of all time, whatever, whatever. But I wanted to know, in listening to the last Eminem, what do you think?
I thought it was phenomenal from the standpoint that he kept it 100% him. It was I'm a fan of themed albums, like when there's purpose of for every song, and he recorded it in such that he wanted it listened to in a certain way. Um,
Bel Air, Bel Air 2, live from 1999. It's like that.
yeah, yeah. Also, Ace Kennedy slipping away.
Slipping Away is a themed album.
Yeah. So I'm a
Break
fan.
Up is a themed album.
That's right, right. Uh, so with that being said, though, I like the fact that it is themed, that he kept it 100% Eminem. Like he did all the Eminem stuff, the punchlines, the ragging on people, but it was for a purpose, and everything was strategic, but it still had like some updated beats and stuff like that. Uh, so no, I thought it was a good, altogether solid project.
I think that the standouts to me, I did like Big Sean's verse on that particular song, right?
Mhm.
I
Everybody
can
talked about
tell
that JID song.
the JID is probably the best song. And let me be honest, I thought that the JID verse was probably like the highlight of the album to me. But here's the thing. I think that I thought that it was an incredible Eminem album. For me, I would probably go out and say it's a top 3 Eminem album for me. Like
Yeah,
it's Marshall Mathers LP, the Slim Shady, and then the Death of Slim Shady for me in that order.
yeah,
And then
yeah, yeah.
all the other he had a long now if you want to go ahead and go with the very first one that he did that okay, but he had a stretch where for maybe 10, 15 years, bro, it was just like dry spot after dry spot after dry spot to where you got people who like Landon's age will hear Eminem and think that Eminem is like so corny, but never remembers Eminem, the MC that'll rip somebody's head off. So I do like that on this album. If you were an Eminem fan, then this is the one you be like, that's what I'm talking about. That's why my guys that like that. So I get it. But if you didn't like Eminem, you would not go like the album though, bro.
Oh my gosh, it ain't better than the Joyner Lucas though.
Hold on. The album
Right.
isn't better than the Joyner Lucas album.
The Eminem album, the new Eminem album, isn't better than the new Joyner Lucas album.
It's
Joyner Lucas.
not better than the Jordan Lucas album to me. I
Yeah.
agree with you on that though,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
And listen, I think that here's the thing I think that's funny. The thing that I do think that is funny is that when people try to do parodies, there's a guy, I don't know if you ever see him on TikTok, but he does these M&Ms like, oh, if Eminem lost his job and he'll rap like Eminem cadence, or when people make fun or they'll be in the car and they say, yeah, put this Eminem on, and then they just got some dude randomly saying, like, listen, on this album, he is doing all of the Eminem stuff, right? It is very much Eminem heavy. And I think that it's like that's truly his style. I think that at some point, as somebody who's an Eminem fan, but also I think that's subjective. I feel like I've heard all of this before, and I understand that that's part of the theme. It's the death of Slim Shady and everything like that. It's just like I guess to me, while I love what he was doing, I guess I would have loved to see him do it differently. But then maybe that wouldn't have made it this kind of album, though, bro.
I don't think that it would. And it's funny to me because you always trying to change somebody's style when they be rapping.
It's not the style. Like, so this is my thing. So what I like, the Eminem that I like, right? I like the Eminem that raps over. I like the Eminem that raps over boom bap style beats that ain't so multi-syllable. But then I also like Eminem rapping over the trap beats, like he did on the one album that he had the Zaytoven production. I like that Eminem. And I think that like my thing is that I'm not trying to necessarily change that. It's just like maybe on the next album, if you say, "Oh, that was the death of Slim Shady," then what does what is the birth of this new style show? Maybe that's part of the plan. I don't know, but I guess it just felt like it felt too familiar to me, though. That's all I guess what I'm saying.
Yeah, yeah. Bro, these them there Olympics.
Yes.
What did you think?
Hey, listen, man. Hey, listen, bro. I'm gonna keep it 1,000 with you. You know what I'm more so surprised about, and maybe it's because I only watch the Olympics. It's every 4 years, right?
Right.
And a lot of times it's hard to catch and keep up with like the world circuit, right?
Mm-hmm.
But listen, I was blown away at the amount of baddies that was out there running, bro. I was like, oh my God. And I felt like even though I was watching all of the I watched almost everything, and I was watching it with the misses. And we were both watching it like, yo, there are some gorgeous women that are out here running though, bro. And I was that to me was the number one thing. And here's the other part that got me the most is that it's like I think a lot of times as Americans, right, we are only focused about regions within Americans. It's down south, right? It's West Coast. It's New York, it's DMV, it's so regional here that I think that you don't really I don't think that you have all of the same perspectives of all the black people around the world. Like I saw this black girl that was in Ireland running
Yeah.
cold. Saw this one that was in UK cold. And I understand that there people migrate to all these different European countries, but I was tripped out that France had a whole team where it was all black people. Great Britain had a team all black people, but that was the number one thing to me that stood out is that this particular Olympics had, and I know that there be some bad ones running, but
Yeah.
this one is the most concentrated of baddies I've ever seen, though, bro, in the Olympics. So, bro.
Yeah. I did not get to watch any of the track and field this year. I only caught like
I watched
highlights.
every single listen. I watched every single track and field event, though, bro. Every single one of them. But when I saw all of them girls, when I saw them girls out there, and I'm watching it with the missus, and she's also like, yo, there's some real pretty girls. I'm talking about like grade A model quality. And I was like, yo.
That's
So
crazy.
that was the number one thing for me.
Yeah.
Now, number two thing, Go James solidified the GOAT.
I knew
Solidified the GOAT, bro.
I figured that. But before we get to
Solidified
Goat
the GOAT.
James, though, before we get to Goat James, for one, Renata, I apologize to you, but there is no breakdancing competition in 2028. We'll get to that. But
She said you got to go back and watch thick thighs and all. Listen, there's some legs. It is some legs out there, bro.
oh, I bet there's
Listen.
all kind of desserts out there too.
Listen, you don't understand. If you didn't see none,
Yeah.
then you wouldn't understand. You would think that I might be over embellishing, though, bro.
No, I believe you. I just, like I said, I just didn't. I was this year. It was gymnastics, a little bit of swimming, and then basketball. Those were the big things that I had to watch.
Go James.
Before we get to Goat James, though, where are we putting this boy Stephen Curry in the basketball conversation based upon his lasting performance?
Listen, okay. I don't want to be one of those people who I try to be consistent, right? And a lot of times people will make it seem like the Olympics don't matter in terms of basketball. And I think that increasingly it's going to start to matter more when you think about a player's performance. Here's what I mean. So when they played in the FIBA World Cup last time, and KD took over the team, I thought that was a big deal because I think that, yeah, you know what I'm saying? It was the first time that I think you've seen Kevin Durant successfully lead a team to a championship since his day. He didn't lead Golden State, but this was the first time he was on that stage where he said, now put it on my back. But a lot of times I think that people would make it seem like the Olympics and the World Games didn't matter in terms of how you rated somebody in basketball, just because I don't think the competition was like it was, right? Like the competition now is nowhere near like it was, right? And I mean that in the sense that there were like 70 something former NBA players out there. Even when people talking about South Sudan had like maybe 7 guys that were on the league there. They were like guys just because they were from Sudan, they were refugees in other countries, though, right? So there were guys like they're NBA guys littered all throughout this. With that being said, I think the tricky part about all this conversation when it comes to Steph, the tricky part is, do you put him as a point guard? Because everybody say he's the best shooter of all time, right? And so he's a point guard only by height. But here's from my perspective. Where I think it's tough is Steph is definitely top 3. Now the question is,
top 3 what? Shooter or point guard?
No, top 3 point guard. If they have PG by his name, he's a point guard. So I'm gonna keep it a stack with you, bro. I'm not gonna be mad. I'm almost this close. Let me go ahead and say it, bro. Steph, greatest point guard of all time, bro. He number 1. Steph is number 1 point guard. Steph is above Magic Johnson to me now. And it's not that. Steph is it, but listen, to me, Magic Johnson defined everything that I would judge all point guards off of. Magic Johnson and Isaiah Thomas. I thought that Isaiah Thomas had the most underrated rings, right? Because Isaiah Thomas beat everybody in their prime, right? Beat Mike, beat a young Mike, beat him down. Stayed whipping Mike, right? Mike didn't get him until they get old. Beat Magic, beat Bird, all the greats. His team did a number on him, right? But Magic is Magic. Magic was the face of the league, Magic
Mhm.
and Bird. But with that being said, I think that one of the things that label of calling Steph the greatest shooter of all time takes away from the fact that he is still the point guard. He doesn't have the most assists, but I think, bro, that I think that Steph's output, however you want to measure, points and assists, rebounds, whatever you want to do, when you come up with that number and say this is this person's PER on offense, I think, bro, and I listen, I don't want to be a prisoner of the moment. Steph, the greatest of all time, best point guard, greatest point guard. He's bet Steph is greater than Magic, greater than Isaiah, and greater than John Stockton. Yeah, I said it, bro. He is, man. He is.
I mean, you already riding with this GOAT James, so I mean, I can't even say this. The rest really a bad take, or out there take, because you didn't already said all of that. I will say this, Steph. Okay, you know how I for me, right? It's about impact for me, right? As far as like that also uh goes in the conversation for me when I rate players. Steph is another one of those people who have transcended basketball,
Change the game.
changed the game. It changes the way like he damn near removed the big man from teams, right? Because it's like, no, you
Facts.
just need 3-point shooting, right? I was already gonna ask the question on Facebook as far as like who was the greatest pure shooter out of like him, Reggie Miller, what's my boy name? Ray Allen. I forgot who else I had in there, but what's
And
up?
listen, bro, I'm gonna tell you this. I'm gonna tell you this. This is the reason why. This is another reason why I think. See, when you said that right now,
Hmm.
I think that you low key, you didn't know that subconsciously you were kind of diminishing his point guard play because you can say you only talked about the shooting. But here's my thing. Steph is the greatest shooter of all time, and I'll go out on the limb and say it's not even close. The distance between Steph and the next person is like, to me, after you say, okay, here's what I mean. I think that there's a conversation of when you talk about, to me, it's LeBron James, and we'll get into this.
Hmm.
It's LeBron James, Jordan, Kobe, my three, right? But then I think that there is some argument about the distance of how close Jordan is to LeBron or how close Kobe is to LeBron. I think, bro, that there is a sizable difference. Like it's listen, bro. It's like Steph, and the next person might as well be like number 10 shooters of all time. Like Steph is the number. Listen, if there's Steph at number 1, Steph at number 2, 3, 4, 5, and then Klay Thompson is number 6, bro. Like it's a big drop off.
But this is why I disagree with you that saying he's the greatest shooter of all time diminishes his point guard. Because again, it's about the perception, right? I'm not saying he's not a great point guard. I think he is a great point guard because that's the position he's playing. It's the same thing like how people want to diminish Russell Westbrook as a point guard, not comparing the two, not. But what I am, huh?
Yeah, I get you. I get what you mean.
But what I am saying though is people know that he changed the game because of his shooting. So what I'm saying is it's like when you think Allen Iverson, the thing you think about is his handles or how fashion-wise, how he changed the NBA with the sleeves, the tattoos, the braids, the headbands. Like but that's not taken away from what he did as far as the position. So I think that's the same way with when you say Steph is the greatest shooter, doesn't take away from his point guard. I just think that that's what he's known for. Like, you know what I'm saying? When people used to shoot and be like, Kobe, you know what I'm saying? Like, Like, I just
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
I think though, here's what I think about it. This is what I think about it. I think that Steph's shooting is so great that it by itself overshadows everybody else's attributes to being what you consider to be great. Like I think that Steph's shooting along as a point guard to me, it surpasses Magic Johnson's all the other things you want to say. His passing, his scoring that he did, his leadership. People see this is the thing about it. The thing about it when you talk about GOAT list, it's subjective, right? It's certain people give you that feeling of greatness, and I just think that to me that's where Magic did it. If you think about it, there are people who got better stats than Magic, right? Statistically speaking. Statistically speaking, Russell Westbrook probably has better stats. It's just that Magic got it with the rings and yada, yada, yada. I'm just here to say, though, bro, that you can't Lil Bro Steph when it comes to the GOAT conversation. So for that, I don't want to be a prisoner of the moment to make it seem like, oh, it just happened in the Olympic stage. No, it happened to Steph at this age. It happened to Steph because after he won the championship, he said, I'm going to go ahead and go to on the Olympic team to get this ring. He did it. He didn't just ride GOAT James. He was a factor into doing it, though,
Yep.
bro. And
Yep.
then he wins the game off of doing what you know him to be.
Yeah, and it was in epic fashion because when you see KD give him the ball back, bro, and he was like when he shot it over those two people, bro. I mean, it was just like you already blew up the building with shot number 2, but when that third one fell and when it was over them two people, bro, the whole thing could have just imploded, bro. It was just incredible.
And not just that, bro. Not just that. The part that gets overshadowed and all that is nobody looked at that like that was a bad shot for him.
No,
I think some people expect for it to go in, and that's what I mean. His shooting is so great, bro, that I just don't even think that you can see him shoot shots that you would think if anybody else took them, it's a bad shot, right? But come on, man.
but you
The
know what's
fact that
crazy?
give him that pass back is just tells me how confident everybody else is on how great of a shooter he is, though, bro.
Yeah, yeah, because they don't win the Serbia game without Steph.
No, they don't. They don't.
And again, before we get to GOAT James, the other thing with Steph, D'Lo was talking about. He said the worst thing that he ever did was play for the Warriors because he saw Steph's work ethic. He said the shots that y'all are seeing him do, he practices all of them. Like that's
Facts.
why when he comes to shooting a half court shot, those are like just
Regular.
because that's like those don't even mean nothing to him because he practices that. So I just thought that was super dope to see him talk about that. But let's get into it. GOAT James. Bro was out there, little bro and everybody. Yeah, he got dunked on. I get it, but that's gonna happen to anybody. But just the presence of him at this age, still looking like in 4 years he could go back to the Olympics and still be effective is just unbelievable, incredible. So this is the thing that I think the closest we're gonna get to LeBron and his son winning something together is if his son played for Team USA in 4 years, and then him and LeBron get a gold medal together.
That would be crazy. That would be crazy.
That would be crazy.
That would be crazy. But listen, I'm gonna tell you this. And shout out to my dude Rashad who jumped in because he'll low-key try to make it seem like he a LeBron fan, but then also like low-key try to bash LeBron at every chance he get when it comes to LeBron. I remember saying
You do that with PG all the time too, bro.
No. It's different. It's different. It's different because I start mine off by saying, and I preface it, I love PG's game. But nah, he'll be like, oh yeah, look, LeBron was out here riding D-Wade coattail and dollars. I'm like, come on. But listen, this has always been my point when it comes to LeBron. The day LeBron arrived in the NBA, right? He was forecast, forced, and expected to be great from day one, right? No drop off. Now you can say, oh, he had some failures along the way, right? But there was never a time where you looked at LeBron and didn't see this. So then fast forward 20 years later, right? And you see LeBron, and I love that my dude came out there with the gray beard. He didn't want to tint the beard. He like, nah, y'all about to really see. And I thought the gray beard LeBron, I want to see LeBron go gray beard all this next season, though, bro.
It reminded me of that old man Logan in the Wolverine in Logan.
Yes, he old man, but he's still Logan, right? He's still dangerous. And so I think that the thing that I like the most is that again, not just there to just collect a gold medal and just be a part of it, but the fact that even then, when Steph was getting busy, right, it was LeBron facilitating to keep the hot hand going, feeding him and everything. And so I think that the expectation is that listen, the expectation was that no, we are going to have LeBron James get us over the hump. Because here's my thing, realistically, right? Even with KD being the guy who closed the when they did the World Championships out before the couple seasons ago, right? Who else would have done what LeBron did? Who else would have been the LeBron of this particular constructed team? I don't think nobody else would have. So
No, because
again,
yeah, because Anthony Edwards started out like he looked like he was about to have a phenomenal Olympics, and then
facts.
it just kind of fizzled out when they needed him late in games. You know what I'm saying? Halliburton never really kind of showed up, which he's kind of done that. Like Halliburton be skating in, bro. But I love that, like he still celebrate like he was a big contributor to everything, bro. He was out. He went to the club afterwards. He had his whole USA outfit on with his gold medal.
I don't blame him. Because listen, I'm there. I prepared with this team. I helped contribute to these boys. It might not have been in the game. I might have got some DNPs. But that just goes to tell you, though, bro. Like, okay, this is what I think that's crazy, though. Okay. That also goes to tell you that while people were saying, why didn't Steve Kerr play him? Why didn't Steve Kerr play Jason Tatum at times, right? And even though you think Halliburton was an all-star, Jason Tatum, first team All-NBA, but he played Derek White, who wasn't an all-star, who was first team all-defense, Drew Holiday, who wasn't an all-star this year, first team all-defense. And even then, you know that Halliburton can shoot. You know Halliburton can. He I think led the league in assists, right? You know that Jason Tatum can score still, but in the moments where it mattered the most, you got Go James in there. And so this is my thing that's crazy to me. Even more than that, people say, "Well, why didn't Steve Kerr?" Oh, Steve Kerr don't know what he's doing. Tyronn Lue was on that team, on that coaching staff. Eric Spoelstra's on that team, right? These are all proven coaches. They're all head coaches, no assistant coaches on there, right? And here's what I think is crazy, though, bro. I think that when people are saying, "Well, why didn't Steve Kerr play them?" I think that it's more of a telltale sign about what NBA coaches really think about Halliburton and what they really think about Tatum. Because you think about it like this. Okay, so Halliburton, I believe, led the league. He was like maybe number 2 in assists behind like James Harden, but he could score. He pretty much averaged like close to 9 assists a game. And he can shoot some threes. He can get hot, right? And Jason Tatum. Everybody knows Jason Tatum can score. But I think that everybody, all those coaches to me, it said, well, that's all you can do. What else? We got scoring, right? And we got assists. We got playmaking from Go James. We got scoring from Kevin Durant. And so even Devin Booker conceded his game to play more of defense, to be the spot up shooter and everything. And I think that it just, to me, watching this Olympic told me that people think that Jason Tatum is a volume shooter. Like he can score it with the best of them, but it's going to take him a few. Kevin Durant can give you 30 points on 15. I saw Kevin Durant go in there and not miss, right? And I just think that it just tells me what the coaching community thinks about Jason Tatum or what they really think when it's all said and done. Like it takes them lots of reps to give you the output, though, man. And so, as that team was constructed, I don't think that they gave you anything more than what people actually thought. Like Devin Booker will sometimes have to fall back on defense because he's going to give you more points, right? But he can play that D. And I just think that people don't think that Halliburton can play defense at all. I don't think people think Jason Tatum can play defense at all like that, though, bro.
But was the Olympics an indictment on Tatum, though? Like, does this affect his legacy?
And I don't listen. At the end of the day, he's on the gold medal winning team, right? But I do think that, to me, like I saw Kendrick Perkins say, "Oh, the Celtics should be thankful because he gonna go out with something to prove." Well, if you just scoring, then that ain't proving nothing. That's just confirming what we already know. And so my thing is that, is it an indictment on him, on his legacy? Maybe, maybe. But it more so depends on what he does with this, right? Like this is my thing. Like, I think that people say that Jaylen Brown, who didn't make the team, right? And I've always, out of those two, I've always favored Jaylen Brown because I thought that he plays better defense. And I think that people saw Jason Tatum block Kevin Durant and thought he could be this rangy, long defensive player that he never really tries to really lock down like that. Maybe in some moments he does. But I think at the end of the day, it's like when you tell me, "Oh, you go on a tear," like, we'll go on a tear locking people up then. Show me that. Because you can go on to be first team all NBA again, but how much are you doing that gonna change this narrative? You know what I'm saying? Like, you're gonna have to do something to me to change that narrative. And scoring more points isn't gonna do that to me.
Yeah, I think though, if let's say if Team USA would have lost to even Serbia or lost to France, does it then come into question Coach Kerr's decision not to play him, or is it just they just lost?
Hold on, say that one more time.
Okay, let's say that Team USA would have lost, right? And the criticism was that they didn't play Tatum. Do you think then the criticism would have been based on his decision of not playing Tatum, an NBA champion, or because now that they won, it's like, okay, he made the right decision.
It's justified, right? Yeah, it's justified when you win, but then it's like it's questioned when you lose. I can't say, but I'll say this. I still would think, what is it that they think about Jason Tatum to where you're known for scoring? And even if we're in a drought, a scoring drought, or even we know that we need points, which is your specialty, then why can't the coach find you minutes? Because to me, it feels like, well, yeah, you can score points, but all of our guys who play defense can score points. So can Jason Tatum's scoring outpoint be so great on that team as currently constructed to outweigh his liability on defense? That's what I'm saying. Like, that's where I think the question is. It's like, on that team, when you're talking about the best of the best and you remove the international players from the all NBA, contention, right? And you say, okay, well, we're putting together this team. Like, what is it that they think about you that they don't think about your teammate Derek White, who scores less but plays defense and does all the other things? Like, I do think that it's an indictment on Jason Tatum, though, bro.
Okay, let me ask you some questions about some other people. Where does Bogdanovich play?
No, he played for the Hawks. Played for the Hawks, bro. And listen, I'm not gonna lie, he's been injured off and on since he been playing for the Hawks. But the Hawks, and I say we traded him. We traded the redhead guy Herter to the Sacramento Kings for Bogdanovich, and he comes back to the Hawks, plays good in the first season, averages like 14, 15 a game, and then gets hurt the second season. Herter starts the ball out, shooting the lights out or whatever though, man. And then both of them still just balanced out. It was like an even. But he played for the Hawks though, bro. Yeah,
Bro,
I think he still might play for the Hawks though.
what happened to Murray, bro? He was playing for Team Canada, and he only had like 2 points.
I be thinking when something like that happens, that bro be like players be injured still, and they still just trying to give it. Cause like you look at Joel Embiid, same way he looked like Zildjiūnas Ilgauskas running up and down the court. He looked terrible, bro.
Last question.
So I don't know.
How did the boy Victor Wemby look?
Okay, so you know what I think is crazy though, bro. I like Wemby a lot. It's still weird to my eye to see him and Chet moving the way they move. I think that because they're so lanky, that especially Wemby is so abnormally long, bro, that it's crazy to me to see him trying to, like when he's handling the ball. Like I'm surprised that he doesn't get the ball stolen more because he's so tall. That means that even though he's trying to cross you over, his crossover is coming from way higher than you. So you think he's like 7'5". So when he crosses over, he's not going to get as low as you. So that means his crossover, if he's 7'5", his crossover is coming from above my head, right? So he's going to put the ball in front of you every time, but I never see him get the ball stolen. Like I said, I like.
You see how tall he was to KD, bro?
You see how tall he is to Rudy Gobert.
Yeah.
I listen. I'm not gonna lie. I'd rip him. I'd steal the ball from him though. But listen, but I think it's funny because listen, I saw him. This is when I know how unrealistic that is, and I just said that because I saw Drew Holiday get stuck on a switch on a pick and roll, and Drew Holiday was leaning on him to get him out of the paint, and Drew Holiday's face was right by his waist. Like it looked like he was like side by his ribs, though, bro. But he is this. It's my eye still hasn't gotten used to seeing him do the thing. A player because Kevin Durant doesn't look weird to me doing it. He's just like this skinny dude. But to see somebody taller than Kevin Durant trying to handle the ball, bro, it's like I know he can handle the ball though, man. But he's just so long, bro, that it looks weird to my eyes still, though, bro. But it looks weird to me when Chet does it, though.
Yeah, Chet. Oh, I've been watching Chet's workout videos, bro. He ready, bro. He ready for the season.
And listen, and the only reason why I think that Wemby is probably at this juncture more effective than Chet is because I think that the 5-inch difference between the two, it does matter though, right? Like to me, Wemby's wingspan and being able to block somebody's three when you start out jumping in the paint, like that's something to me though, bro. So
yeah,
I don't know, bro. Yeah. But I do want to see if Chet would be on that next Olympic though, bro.
Last two things before to get you on out of here. First of all, how do you feel about Jordan getting her bronze medal taken from her?
You can't tell me what I just saw already. Like I saw her get the bronze medal.
Right.
Could you imagine if there was anything else? Like what if that was so that was like that would be like what if the USA got if we saw the USA lose, right? And then days later on a matter of technicality, they say, oh no, actually y'all got gold. Y'all got silver or y'all got bronze. Like, nah, you can't tell me what I just saw. So it's too little too late though.
And the other thing, we never did get a chance to talk about this. This is not Olympic talk. What did you think of Deadpool and Wolverine?
$7.5 out of 10.
You got it 0.5 higher than what I had it. I have it at a 7.
Okay.
Yeah. I had it at a 7. I think for me, because it didn't have any impact on the MCU like I thought, uh, then it was like, okay, it was really more like a love letter or a farewell to the Fox properties. But it really didn't have any implication on the MCU. You know what I'm saying? Like this big reset that everybody was thinking it was gonna be.
I'm gonna tell you this. I don't care about stuff like that. Right.
I know
That's
you
just
don't.
am I entertained? Right. I'm just saying. I think that I honestly believe that while I am dialed into the MCU, right, I'm not as dialed into it from that perspective. I'm dialed into it from is this an entertaining movie like
Mhm.
the previous one or the next one? Like to me, it's saying when I look and say, is it better? I'm saying, is it as entertaining? But it furthering along a storyline or the universe, like that part, I don't care about. But
Well,
here's one of the things I do like.
mhm.
I do like um I do like the nostalgia of seeing Wolverine in the yellow suit. I love how they added the elements of all the old heads. So I did like seeing Blade in there. I did like seeing Elektra on there. I did like seeing the girl from the Logan on there, right? So
X-23.
that was pretty fire. Yeah. So I thought that overall it was good. Here's the thing about it. I'm gonna be honest. It's almost like the Eminem album, bro. If you like Deadpool, I think you'll love the movie. But if you
Well,
hated Deadpool, it does nothing to make you want to get on the Deadpool train, bro.
well, that's what I was gonna say. I'm not really a Deadpool guy, so this felt like just another Deadpool movie to me. I am more of a
Yeah,
Wolverine guy, so that's why I think it was a 7, because I think all Deadpool movies are a
that
7.
boy said that boy said Wolverine.
Yeah. But anyway, man,
I
what you
think
got
that
for the week?
yeah, if you said listen, if you said now the first Deadpool, I would give it like an 8.5. It was better. It was the best one to me because it was the introduction, though, man. So,
Yeah, yeah,
but 7.5 though, man. If you know if you like Deadpool, you'll like it. If
yeah.
you didn't like it or if you were casual, it did nothing to make you like it that much.
Nah, not at all.
Anyway,
What you got up for the week?
man. So this week I'm still in the lab. I'm editing video, bro, and I've been having a good time kind of tapping back into that creative outlet though, bro. I think that it's been something that I haven't did in about a year, edit a video. And it's like so much has changed in like Adobe Premiere
Hmm.
since the last time I've edited. And it seems like it wouldn't be, but I think maybe it's because I was in such an outdated version of it at the time. So it's been pretty cool kind of diving back into the music editing piece of it though. So with that being said, that also means that I got my next single lined on up. I just got to figure out the market and the release date behind that. And the very cool thing about it is that I think that I'm 3 songs in now because I put out, we got Texas Toast that's still doing this thing. I
Hmm.
got this next song that's coming on now, and I just put the finishing touch on the mix to one that I know for sure is one that I definitely got to be more cognizant on the marketing because of when I'm actually putting it on. Now, this will be one that's going to probably be like early fall, Octoberish, maybe that I put this one on now, where I can kind of this theme of the song fits with October timeline though. So I'm very excited. Back in the lab, but really tapping into the creative juices though, man. What's good with you though?
Oh, same, bro. In the lab. I was actually, like I said, producing before we even got on the pod. Because I think I have one more song that I'm trying to put on the project, and then I'm done. Uh, and I'm just trying to find out which one it is. Like everything else is set. I'm just making tweaks to all of that stuff. Uh, and I even have a time frame now for the project, so everything is lining on up. And so yeah, just in the lab doing that. That's about it.
Yeah, man. I'm pretty excited though, man. I'm like I said, I think that I once I saw your playlist, I'm like, okay, yeah, these is bangers, man. This is real
Yeah.
good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
real happy with the playlist, bro. Like, and I'm glad I finally just took everything off and made just the playlist so I could see it, and it made me feel good. Like I said,
yeah.
I think if I could squeeze out one more, I'm good. If I don't get another one out before my timeline runs out, then I'm fine with the ones that I have. Uh, what's up?
It's just funny. I'm in a tricky place where I know the song that I want to do, but I don't know. I don't even this was funny. I don't even know where the beat is. So it gave me the opportunity to say, all right, I'm gonna start from a whole fresh new beat. and and it's cool. I know the song is a keeper song, and it fits with what I'm trying to do. I just got to actually get it recorded, and so it's already it's a rarity that I have a whole song that's just ready to go that I don't have a beat for, basically, though, man. So this one is one of those. So yeah.
Yeah. Well,
What's
look, man.
going on, man?
Appreciate y'all for rocking with us all the way from ATL to OKC. We are the Slash Brothers. We are out. We should have a special guest with us next week, but we'll dive more into that if we can make that happen. We're still in negotiations of doing that. So hopefully next week, like I said, we'll have some special guests on to the pod. But yeah, we see y'all on the next one.
Peace. Bad guy, Renata, Rashad. What up, y'all?
Cinematic visuals.
It doesn't matter what your name is.
Slash Brothers Podcast, the greatest podcast of all time. The Slash Brothers Podcast, the greatest podcast.
Can you
of
dig
all
it,
time.
sucker?